Hi, I'm Ryan Marples, and I'm going to show you how to get started with Force.com for Google App Engine. This is a toolkit that enables new types of web applications to be built that combine two of the industry's leading cloud computing platforms, Google App Engine and Force.com. Since its introduction, developers have been building consumer-oriented web applications on Google's App Engine. At the same time, developers have been having success building business applications on Force.com. Now, these applications can be connected to create even better solutions. What I'm going to take you through today is building web applications with Google App Engine that leverage Force.com. First, let's look at how this works. As you may know, Force.com provides a full stack of services for building and running applications in the cloud. We provide a global, secure, and trusted infrastructure for running applications. Developers can define their data model within Force.com using custom objects and fields which reside in our multi-tenant data store. They can define their workflow and logic using our fourth-generation language Apex, and their user interface using our XML-based Visualforce Pages technology. Also, all the development tools themselves can be 100% browser-based. So while leveraging what they know about traditional on-premise software development, Force.com developers are able to build rich applications in a highly efficient manner. In fact, our own industry-leading CRM suite of applications are built and run on this stack. So when you combine the over 40,000 plus CRM customers and thousands of in-house and third-party applications that are in production today, there are literally billions of rows of organizational data held within this system, as well as logic that drives key business workflow for these organizations. All of this is exposed via a web services API that allows you to query, insert, update, and delete records, kick off workflow tasks, send notifications, and much more. So you can see there is a great opportunity for Google App Engine Python developers to integrate with all this enterprise data and business processes that exist today on the Force.com platform. With Force.com for Google App Engine providing access to the services of the Force.com platform, many possibilities are introduced for App Engine developers. The first category is feeding data into the Force.com data store from your App Engine site. This could be information about prospects who might be interested in what you have to offer, to customer service and support requests, or even product orders if you run an online store. Now these are some examples, but actually you can feed data into any object that exists on the Force.com platform, so there are really no limits to this. Also, keep in mind that beyond simply creating records, Force.com applications often have business logic set up that executes and kicks off business rules when records are created. So for example, if you collected prospect data on your site and via the toolkit fed it into Force.com, that lead might automatically be routed to a local sales team based on location, and a notification might be sent out to that team about the new lead. So this is what I mean when I say you can truly integrate into the key business processes of organizations. Secondly, you can pull data from Force.com and present it natively through your App Engine site. You could build a product catalog that pulled real-time product pricing and supply data to provide the best possible experience for your customers. You could create profile pages for your employees that pull live data out of Force.com, or provide tickers that update your users on the latest news and promotions being managed from Force.com. And again, there's no limits. You can bring in data from any custom object you've defined within Force.com. So you can see what you're really enabling is a direct channel between your App Engine site and the business people and processes at your customers, prospects, and partners who are running Force.com. So let's take a closer look. Now let's look at what you'll need to get started. As I mentioned, when you're developing applications for Google App Engine, you're developing in Python, which means you're going to need a Python interpreter. This comes standard in the Macintosh operating system, and on Windows it can be downloaded from python.org. Some people prefer to use a generic text editor when editing Python code, but I'd encourage you to download the Eclipse IDE from eclipse.org. You'll then want to install the PyDev plugin, which provides support for creating Python projects within Eclipse. The great thing about this is that Force.com also provides an Eclipse plugin, so you're able to work with both Python code and Force.com code and data from within the same IDE. Alright, we're almost ready to go. We just need to download the toolkit itself. You can find this at force-app-engine.googlecode.com. You've got two options. If you're savvy with Subversion, go ahead and go to the Source tab and get the URL here you can use to check the files out to your machine. Otherwise, go to the Downloads tab and grab the pre-made zip file. Okay, I've downloaded the toolkit to my machine. Let's do a quick walkthrough of it. The toolkit is packaged as an App Engine application itself. The app.yaml is here, which describes the app metadata. Note that when uploading the application to AppExchange, you'll want to change the application ID to something unique to yourself. You'll also find a folder here called Beatbox. This is the code name for Force.com for Google App Engine, and thus this folder acts as the main module containing the objects that give you access to Force.com's API. You'll also find account lookup, create contact, and simple login modules. These deliver sample pages that demonstrate the use of the toolkit. Finally, you'll find a unit test module that we use to test all the use cases, and it can be a great resource for sample code as well. Okay, let's run our application. I have the Google App Engine launcher installed, and from the File menu I'm going to select Add Existing Application, and I'm going to browse to the folder that contains my app.yaml. I'll add that. It tells me here the application is registered. I'm going to click on Run to run the application using this Google App Engine Launcher local development environment, and then I'm going to browse to the page. So here we go. We've launched our toolkit examples. Let's try the first one, simple login. I'm going to log in with my Salesforce.com credentials. Click the login button, and it's going to come back and tell me that the login was successful, confirms my user ID, the server URL, and the session ID. Now let's have a look at what this actually looks like behind the scenes. Okay, we're back in Eclipse here. This is the code behind the simple logon page. As you can see, it's fairly short. We're making use of the Python client object, and we're calling the logon method, doing a bit of error checking. Now from here I could call other methods that would read and write data from Salesforce.com. For more information on the other capabilities, consult the documentation that comes with this toolkit. Okay, let's look at a few more examples. First, let's look at pulling data from Force.com into our Google App Engine application. I'm going to run the account lookup sample. Here, I can type in my username and password, and I can search for an account by name. Now what's happening here is we're calling the Force.com web service and bringing back all the data that matches my search term here. In this case, we found 3 records, and I can click on each of them to see some details. Now I should point out here that I'm only prompting for a username and password because this is a demonstration application. In a real application, you could sign on behind the scenes. Finally, let's look at the create contact sample. Now this sample shows how we can actually create records inside of the Force.com database. Here I can type my username and password, and I'll provide a little bit of information about my contact. Now before I click the Create button, let's move over to Salesforce just to prove that I in fact do not have any contacts that are new this week. But after I go ahead and click the Create button, I'll see the record was created, and it even gives me the record ID. I can come back here and refresh, and sure enough, there's John Smith. So you see, this is pretty powerful, being able to read and write data between Salesforce.com and Google App Engine. Alright, so today I've shown you how to get started with Force.com for Google App Engine, but I hope you're eager to learn even more. Please visit developer.force.com for more information on this toolkit and all of the other resources we have for building applications in the cloud. Good luck.